message to every elected official in this room is this. You must vote yes on the full Protect Illinois Communities Act and vote like your lives depend on it.
Look, sweetie, I know you probably mean well. You probably have parents who only eat salads, and if any danger were to ever confront them, they would become smaller than an ant. But let me give you just a little bit of advice. Your life does not depend on anyone else. You are in charge of your own life and your own protection. If you have a husband, I would say he would be involved with that too. But that's it. You can't rely on police. You can't rely on government. You can't rely on anyone else except for maybe your inner circle. But ultimately, it's just you. So you saying vote like your life depends on this, it's just goofy. Everyone, before we get started, this video has been sponsored by our good friends over at Raid Shadow Legends. If you've got a phone, you should be playing this game. I love the fact that there are a ton of bosses to defeat and amazing champions to continuously upgrade until you just completely own the game. Amazing battle scenes. You feel like you're actually in the game fighting these bosses. Now I know we're past Christmas, but the gifts keep on coming from Raid. Raid has prepared something truly special for everyone during the holidays. And we're celebrating 12 days of Raid. First, all you gotta do is download Raid Shadow Legends from the link below in the description. Log into 12daysofraid.plarium.com and put your player ID from in-game. And each day you'll experience a new chapter of this wintry story and play a new mini game for a chance to win some amazing in-game real-life prizes, including holiday-themed Raid champions and even Amazon gift cards worth up to $1,000. And if you already play Raid, we aren't leaving you out. You can go to the same website and find a special holiday promo code that everyone can use for a small festive gift. And if you haven't started playing Raid yet, click my link in the description or scan my QR code here on the screen and you'll get unique bonuses worth $35. We're talking a free epic champion Jotun, 100k silver, 50 gems, and 2 epic skill tomes. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. Everyone, welcome back. You know, I told you guys, after the Oregon thing that other states were gonna get ideas, and well, this state is even stupider than Oregon. Let me explain. But first off, why don't we hear a little bit from our friend, Judy Wang.
Good morning. In a rare occurrence, Governor Pritzker was present for the debate. The Protect Illinois Communities Act would ban the manufacture, sale, and possession of assault weapons for most Illinoisans. People who already have them would have to register them with the state within 300 days.
The Protect Illinois Communities Act. That's really interesting. And your plan to do that is to ban semi-automatic rifles. How'd you come up with that? I mean, seriously, is any of this stuff backed by data? Of course it's not. It's backed by simple yes sirs. And if you don't know what a yes sir is, it's Joe Biden calling the governor or the people in Illinois and saying, hey, our goal is to obviously disarm America, so let's put out a assault weapons ban. That way we further our progress to our goal. And of course, all of them are a bunch of simps, so they say, yes, sir. Now, just to show of hands here, obviously I can't see any of you, but how many people do you think are actually gonna register their firearm? Would 0 be a good number? Yes, I think it would be. All you're doing at that point is saying, hey, I am pretty much okay with ATF, any sort of law enforcement showing up at my house at any time and confiscating my gun for any reason. That's what you're doing when you register your gun. It's the only reason why they would even have a registry. So before we get into what these jackasses have to say, let's look at the data for 2021. Unfortunately, the data for 2022 is not registered yet. It takes the FBI about 6 years to come up with a year of data. Good work over there, guys. So we are in the FBI's Crime Data Explorer. And I gotta say, this data is extremely interesting. Type of weapon involved by offense. We don't really care what kind of offense it is. We just care what kind of weapon they used. The first one is none. So that means somebody being trained or just getting a lucky punch in. Bar fights. Can't ban those. So then we have handguns. Quite a few with handguns. I wonder why. And somebody asked me this the other day and I figured I'd just answer it now. They said, why do you think handguns are used so much more in homicides and just any crime involving a gun versus a rifle? Because you look pretty fucking obvious if you're carrying a rifle around. You just do. They're hard to conceal. So handguns are the preferred choice of criminals. The only thing you will ever hear about handguns from a state, unless you live in Canada, is that they will try to lower the amount of rounds that you can hold in the gun. There is no talk about banning handguns. Thank God, but if we're going by statistics, handguns would be the first choice. Now, look, their data is all over the place. They really do a terrible job with this. But the FBI nurses off of Biden, essentially. They're in his pocket. Why do you think Trump got raided? So we know that when this rifle number is there, it's a correct number, because if they could put it higher, they would have. I mean, they're banning semi-automatic rifles, so it must be a crazy number, right? It must be more than all of them combined, or else why would they bother with their time? Let's go down to rifle. There were 60 incidents in 2021 regarding a rifle. 60 for the entire state. And y'all are spending this much time on it. I mean, listen to these people.
These are weapons that belong on a battlefield, not at parades or parks or schools or churches.
Listen here, Emmanuel Chris Welch. That's a confusing name. Let me just say this for a second. You're a fucking idiot. No one is saying that a semi-automatic rifle belongs in a park. The only time they belong in a school is if someone is responding to an active shooter. Not really sure when they would be involved in a parade unless it's a veteran type of parade and you got soldiers carrying rifles. But you're talking about it like every person with an AR-15 just hangs out in a park with their rifle. Hey, we got any good parades to go to today? I just feel like walking around with my AR-15. But you guys had a whole 60 incidents for the entire year. So yeah, I mean, all of this is really important. You know, I used to think all of these people were really stupid. And then I realized y'all are all pretty good actors. Because you can't be stupid enough to have a population of millions of people and something happen 60 times. And you spend your days trying to figure out how to ban it. No one is that stupid. You're just good actors. You know that all the lefties want to disarm America, and you're just acting. And if you're not, you're just really stupid. But a person cannot say, oh man, 60 times out of millions of people? We ought to do something about that. Shit. Some of these dudes in downtown Chicago with their Glock with the switch on it probably do 60 shootings a year themselves. But of course, none of that is addressed. It's actually the opposite. DAs are easier on crime because we need criminal reform. But when it comes to people who are not criminals, people who legally bought their firearms, people who legally own their firearms, your attitude is, oh, well, there's a fucking parade next week, so we've got to make sure they don't have AR-15s.